Hello and welcome to the Year 9 GCSE PE Options Assembly. First things first is GCSE PE for you. Well, have you ever wondered why your heart beats so fast when you exercise? Have you ever wondered why your muscles ache after such a long workout? Have you ever wondered why you get so nervous before an important event? And do you enjoy playing sport or exercising? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then GCSE PE might be for you. Some common misconceptions about GCSE PE that we often get told are, all you do is play sport. Well, GCSE PE actually has a large theoretical element. To do well, you have to be amazing at lots of different sports. In GCSE PE, you're only assessed in 3 different sports. You don't have to be able to be amazing at every single sport that exists. It doesn't lead to anything. Well, actually, there are lots of different avenues that you can go down once you get a GCSE PE qualification. And it's just like core PE. Well, core PE is only practical, and as I've already said, there's a large theoretical element. So what will you learn? Well, it's 60% theory, so 60% of your overall grade comes from the exams. These are split into paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1, we look at the human body and movement in physical activity, and paper 2, we look at social cultural influences and well-being in physical activity and sport. These are assessed in 2 separate exams, which consist of multiple choice, short answer, and extended writing questions. In paper 1, we cover applied anatomy and physiology. That includes the bones, muscles, your heart, blood vessels, the respiratory system, so how oxygen gets around your body, and the different effects of exercise. We also look at movement analysis and physical training. This includes things like injuries, performance-enhancing drugs, the different methods of training and components of fitness. Then you go on to paper 2, where we look at sports psychology, so how you learn skills, how you develop skills and practice them, how coaches use guidance and feedback to be able to help you improve, and goal setting. Then we look at social cultural influences, so barriers to participation in sport, commercialisation, so Sky Sports, TV adverts, different brands, and then sporting behaviour. Finally, we look at health, fitness and well-being, so how physical, social and emotional health can be impacted by sport and exercise, as well as a balanced diet and lifestyle choices. So there are lots of different topics to get your teeth stuck into in GCSE PE. The second part of the grade is through the practical element. This is 40%. This is then split again into practical and coursework. Within the practical bit, you will be assessed in 3 different sports, as previously mentioned. These are split into 1 individual sport, 1 team sport, and 1 individual or team sport. So, for example, you could be assessed in the 800 metres, an individual sport, hockey, which is a team sport, and netball, another team sport. Another example could be that you want to be assessed in swimming, an individual sport, netball, a team sport, and skiing, an individual sport. As I said, these are only examples, and there are lots of different sports that you can be assessed in that I will show you on the next slide. But these are some examples just to help with the individual and team split. We've then got 10% coursework. So this is the personal exercise programme that you will take part in Year 10. You identify a weakness within your sport and then you design an exercise programme to help you improve that. So team sports. This is the list of team sports that are currently you can be assessed in GCSE PE. If you compete in one of these outside school, then that is excellent. And we will explain how you can gather evidence for this. You need to gather video evidence of you training and in competition. But some of these sports we can assess you in school, for example, netball or dance. Individual sports. Again, there's a long list of sports that you can be assessed individually. And if you do compete in one of these outside school, we can help you with gathering video evidence of this. But again, we can assess you in school. So for example, athletics, dance. We can assess you in school with different sports too. So what can you do with GCSE PE? Well, after you've completed GCSE PE, you can go on to lots of different A-levels. So there's lots of elements within these A-levels that you will learn about in GCSE PE. For example, A-level PE, A-level biology, A-level psychology, or BTEC in sport. The next step is looking on higher education potentially. And if you decide you may want to go into looking at undergraduate degrees in things like physical and sport education, sports science, physiotherapy, strength and conditioning, the list goes on. But there are lots of different degrees and courses that you can take part in higher education that incorporate lots of the elements that you would have learned about in GCSE PE. There's also different jobs which incorporate elements of GCSE PE, such as a personal trainer, a nutritionist, sports psychologist, physiotherapist. The list goes on. But also, if you choose to, you could train to be a PE teacher, and hopefully you'll recognise our friendly faces there. Finally, some frequently asked questions about GCSE PE. Can I be assessed in a sport I play outside school? Yes, we will be able to give you the assessment criteria for your sport and guide you in the right direction for gathering video evidence of this. As I've already said, you need to be able to gather video evidence of you in training and in competition. There are some sports, a very small number of sports that aren't currently being assessed in the EdXL specification, but we will be able to help you and talk through these options with you. Do I have to compete in a sport outside school? Well, no. It's great if you do compete in a sport outside school, but you don't have to. It's not compulsory to be able to take GCSE PE. We can film and assess you in a variety of sports at school. How many lessons of practical and theory are there a week? Well, you have one practical lesson a week and one theory lesson a week. And finally, what other GCSEs does PE complement? Well, GCSE PE actually works well with lots of different subjects because the topics that you cover are such a wide variety of topics. There are many crossovers with biology, physics, maths and history. I hope this presentation has helped you gain a better understanding of what GCSE PE looks like, and we hope that you will be able to join us in GCSE PE next year. Thanks for listening.